Inside room 108 are 6 tables, 4 circles, and 2 rectangles. There's a rug in one corner.
Integrated arts at UCS has been growing over the last 2.5 to 3 years. We started talking about integrated arts by having artists in residence, and then we expanded that to be more holistic so that the artists in residence would continue to be a purpose throughout the year in some way. Teachers really wanted an overall theme every year. From that, we created a schedule that afforded teachers opportunities to have data team for an hour and a half in the morning for the K2 team and an hour and a half in the afternoon for the 3-4 team. And because on a Wednesday we had 3 unified arts teachers that could take a team of students and produce an activity that was integrated, it gave work time for classroom teachers to have data team, and it made a much more robust, theme-inspired, purposeful connection to artists in residence, purposeful to curriculum, and helped expand the arts. And as we go forward, one of the things UCS is establishing is more integrated arts within the curriculum. Talking to teachers about using some of the blocks during art, music, PE, even Spanish to help augment the curriculum currently in the classroom and making that mesh and match. So for instance, this year going forward, Amanda Cowan is planning out her year to include an integrated arts block with each of the classroom teachers that makes connections to math, reading, social studies, and science. So our theme this coming year will be connections all around us. So we've come from just having an artist in residence and an event for an evening to having an artist in residence and a theme, and then having our UA teachers connect that to curriculum to become really integrated arts at UCS.
Today our integrated arts theme is garden theme. As you can see, we have some projects that students have done this morning. These were done by the older students in our school. And you're going to get a chance to work on a project similar to this today. You're also going to be able to spend some time out at the garden, getting our community garden ready for vegetables to grow in. Well, once a month we get together, the 3 of us, Amanda, Kim, and I, and we plan some kind of theme and various activities that involve art, PE, music, technology, whatever connections we can make to the theme, and plan activities for 3-4 classes and then kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade classrooms. The 3-4 kids usually come to us in the morning, and we run through one set of activities with them. Sometimes they're the same for both groups, and sometimes they're different. Just really depends on the group of kids and when we think we're going to work best for them, but usually we stick to the same theme each month. And that gives teachers time to meet together in their data teams and plan instruction, talk about kids and where their kids are at and where they need to go with it, go forward from there. You will have a chance to make something like that. That's just to give you some ideas of where to start. There's lots of different ideas and options for heads, eyes, mouths, ears, all kinds of different things. That's just going to be one part of this afternoon's activities. You're going to rotate through 3 different groups. One will be in the art room making projects just like you saw there. The other station will be here in the library, where you will be viewing some projects that 1st graders have been working on the vegetables that are going to be grown in our garden this year. All of the kids in 1st grade have been working on learning about the vegetables that are going to be grown in the garden and creating a project where there's some slides where you can learn a little bit about those vegetables. And then lastly, you'll also spend some time in the garden this afternoon planting some of the vegetables that will be grown there. Face Mrs. Octor.
Purple.
Would you walk over carefully, quietly over to Mrs. Octor?
What I love about the integrated arts is that we can be creative, and I feel like as educators we have this curriculum that we follow, and we want to make sure that all students are at different levels of progression along the way, and the integrated arts just allows us to think outside the box and to think about projects that we can do that help the kids to make connections. How do you use math and PE? How can we make art with our food? How can we make a snowflake with our bodies? And using literacy along the way to help students learn more about different topics, but also interweave the literacy and the art and the PE. And it's just been a lot of fun to try out this year and to see all the successes that we've had along the way. For the dirt, what does the seeds need now in order to
Water.
Yeah, so we're going to go to the watering can.
They could get dried out really fast. Can I plant one?
Yes, you may.
That's nice.
By an artist named Giuseppe Arcimboldo. So he was Italian, and he painted this picture for this guy, Rudolph II, who was the Holy Roman Emperor. Rudolph hired Giuseppe to paint a portrait of him, and this is what Giuseppe painted. So Rudolph paid him to paint a picture of him, and this is what Giuseppe gave him. Raise it by a hand if you have an idea about how Rudolph might have felt when he got this picture. We are going to make faces using vegetables.
I think it's been really fun collaborating with other people, and it's kind of opened a window to doing bigger projects than we maybe would have been able to. Not necessarily what we did today, but when we work all together, we've been able to tackle some things that in just a classroom with just yourself you're not able to. Mm-hmm. So that's been really fun. Like the land art thing, we took a bunch of kids outside for a good long chunk of time, and they were able to build art out of natural materials, and we revisited it a month later and looked at the effect of time and nature, and it was really pretty cool.
Well, it's helped me figure out where I belong in integrated arts. I mean, kids they come to the library to learn about the books we have to offer here. They come to do research here, but with integrated arts and how to plan activities that involve the library, it's given me more of a technology bent to it. So I kind of focus on the technology part, where I'm more relied on for that piece of it. Or we bring literature into the activities, like today where we started off by reading a book that was connected to the theme. So it's kind of pushed me in the technology realm a little bit more, to include the library into integrated arts a bit more than what you would normally think. I mean, when you think of integrated arts, you think art, music, PE. Not everyone normally, I think, thinks of the library being involved in that as well. But I'm going to give you some hints as to what the vegetable is based on what the kids did research on. I'm going to read you some of their slides, and then I'm going to take some guesses about what vegetable you think it is.
Onion.
You got it. It is an onion.
Yes, that's
So here we go. I'll show it. This was his second page with the information, and the recipe he found was a recipe for French onion soup.
Oh, onions are very.
It's a great time to collaborate with my colleagues, and I love the idea that we can come up with our own themes, and they don't necessarily have to be things that are going on in the classroom. We can take a concept and make the connections, or we can just come up with our own ideas, like snow we did for 2 months this year, tying the garden into everything we do in school, the nutrition we're doing in PE, being fun with our food and art, and just being able to be creative and help kids see the connections between their learning and all the different areas that they get to enjoy at school.
Do you agree?